Fuck the introduction. Philly won that game. Joel Embiid, you don't take anything away from him. 42 points, 14 rebounds. I think that he's firmly reestablished as the leading MVP candidate, but it's not over. The Bucks should have won this fucking game, man. Won this fucking game, but the same shit that I'm always talking about reared its ugly head last night. But I'm always hating. I'm a hater, and I'm underestimating Chris Middleton. Like I said before, I don't know why he had been kind of lucky. He and Drew Holiday, they've been rather lucky to have good games on nationally televised games, but that luck ran out last night. And the Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday that fans who don't always watch Bucks games saw last night, that's what Bucks fans see on a regular basis. And I'm not talking about having a bad game. Everybody has a bad game. Bobby Portis had a bad game last night shooting the basketball, even though he did hit some big shots in key stretches. That's excusable. Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday, to a slightly lesser extent, always do this shit. They have these games where, especially Chris Middleton last night, I'm gonna have to really go in on Chris Middleton more so. Drew Holiday hit some big threes. Chris Middleton hit a couple of threes, but for the most part, man, Chris Middleton was bricking. I mean, absolutely just horrifically bricking wide open threes and shots all night. Not to mention getting burned on the defensive end. And this shit is inexcusable, man. And down the stretch of that game, Giannis, who got off to a slow start, was cooking in the fourth quarter. Like I said before, Giannis is more patient. He doesn't try to force shit like he used to. He let the game come to him. Okay? Mike Budenholzer, why aren't you force feeding Giannis? The last few points of that game for Milwaukee were scored by Giannis. Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, in the last probably 5 minutes of that game, scored zilch. But they kept shooting the fucking basketball. Even though they're having both bad shooting nights, especially Chris Middleton. I'm just trying to figure out, since when has Chris Middleton become like this clutch performer that they keep force feeding at the end of games? When did he become Kobe Bryant? I just I don't understand it, man. Like, and nobody's gonna call that shit out. Nobody on ESPN is gonna call that shit out about this dude. Mind you, ESPN always talk about Russell Westbrook. By the way, those cocksuckers did another segment on Russell Westbrook. I didn't know it. I didn't catch it. They talked about him again, even though he had a good game in their last performance against Utah. They still talked about him. Yeah, he did have 5 turnovers, but all in all, he had a good game. Russell Westbrook's been playing a lot better, and Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless, they still going after this motherfucker. And then you wonder why I go after LeBron James. You got motherfuckers in my comment section. Hey man, why you going after LeBron James? Fuck y'all. They talk about Russell Westbrook every fucking day. And I don't see nobody fucking stand up for that nigga, man. They talk about Kyrie Irving every fucking day. And you get mad because I make a video. Well, you be shitting on the bread, man. Well, you be shitting on. Fuck that bald headed bitch. But anyway, I always talking about Russell Westbrook, his contract. He's not producing. Bitch, Russell Westbrook is the third option. And he's still averaging 18 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. Chris Middleton is the second option and they ain't even cracked 20 points. Not even cracking 20 points. This nigga making $35 million a year. He's the second option. This dude has way too many 2 for 11s, 6 for 23s. It's another thing get on my nerves with Chris Middleton. When he on national television, this motherfucker starts playing hero ball. Shot jacking and shit. It's one thing, motherfucker, if you shot jacking and it's going in. Drew Holiday too. Those motherfuckers was shot jacking in their fucking game, man. Instead of giving that bitch to Giannis. Force that motherfucker into Giannis. He's the one that's going to win or lose that fucking game. Not these motherfuckers. Not tonight. Nope. They kept shooting the fucking basketball. I hate Chris Middleton so fucking much, man. I can't stand this motherfucker, man. God, I hate this motherfucker. He is such a fuck up, man. Yes, sometimes he hits big shots. Yes. Yes, he hits big shots sometimes. But last night is par for the course for this motherfucker. That's what he does. And nobody's going to really call it out. It's the reason why Kendrick Perkins done switched from calling this nigga Batman to saying Giannis is the truth, because Kendrick Perkins probably sat back and watched some of these games like, damn, man, that was a bad fucking take. This is an erratic motherfucker right here. The fuck I was talking about. All-star my ass. Motherfucker gonna be introduced as an all-star. Fuck this nigga, man. I should throw some fucking rotted fruit in my television and start when they introduce this motherfucker, man. Oh, somebody yell out like Drake or somebody yell out, "You suck," when they introduce this motherfucker. Stink, man. To me, even though he's not the MVP because of circumstances, Giannis is the most dominant player in the NBA. I think he's more dominant than Joel Embiid. Because when I'm watching Giannis, he's constantly double teamed, but he still manages to put up 30 points every fucking night. I'm not saying Joel doesn't get doubled, but a lot of times he wasn't getting doubled. Kevin Durant doesn't always get doubled. LeBron gets doubled when he's driving. Somebody will come over to help because he's one of the greatest drivers in the history of the game, but LeBron isn't always doubled. Giannis is almost always doubled, sometimes tripled. Sometimes they put a wall on this motherfucker. Imagine if he was just single covered the whole game. He averaged 40. I think he would average 40 points a night. But anyway, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. The Bucks just, if they just had, I swear, if they had Michael Redd, they could go back in time and just simply get Michael Redd as their second option. A healthy Michael Redd from the mid 2000s. And he, didn't have health problems, didn't have injury issues. If they had him and, a coach like, shit, it don't have to be a great coach, man. Just somebody like, shit, even Don Nelson. I don't consider Don an all-time great coach, man. Some people do. He's good, but he won't all-time great. He just coached for a fucking long time. But anyway, you had a decent coach like that, or Jeff Van Gundy, man, this team would be fucking 40 and fucking 13 or some shit, man. Anyway, that's all I got to say, man.